What's up, Internet? attackslug here, and this is my question and answer video for November of 2014. I had about 35 to 40 questions to get through here, so this might be a two-part video. I'm not quite sure yet. I've got my hot cup of tea here, and we're going to get right down to it, answer some questions, and see what you guys want to know. So, first off, we have a question from Trent Derzuit, who wants to know, how do you afford all your games? Well, one, I get most of my games through GameFly, so I'm actually not buying them. That helps a whole lot, although I am paying about $24.95 a month to GameFly, so that adds up over the course of the year. But I don't buy that many physical games these days. I think I bought about 9 or 10 of them this year so far. I got like 3 more to buy. I gotta get 2K14, Akiba's Trip on PS4, and Persona Q, which are actually out. Those still are out on the same day. But anyway, yeah, so digital games, I wait until sales. Like, rock bottom, if I want to play it, I'll play it eventually. Indie bundles, the Humble Bundle, you know, if you pay enough attention, you can get free games just stacking up. So I end up getting a lot of games throughout the year, but I'm never paying the retail price. I'm never paying full price, and I don't actually buy that many physical games these days. It has to be a very clear exception for me to go, okay, I need to own that, but that is kind of few and far between. Tommy Bruiser asks, if you got to be in a video game, which one would it be? Well, I would say, don't put me in a game where you can die super easily, so I wouldn't want to be in like a Dark Souls game, or like a Devil May Cry game, or any kind of a character action deal, because I'd be dead in like 2 or 3 minutes. So put me in like Proteus, or put me in the Stanley Parable, you know, something where I'm not gonna die really quickly, because that would certainly happen. So we've got a question here about the best wrestling game and the worst wrestling game from Steve Pham, and what's your favorite wrestling game you played with Grimm from Kyle Riker. These are kind of almost the same question. And the answer to that is, for me, personally, WWF No Mercy is my favorite wrestling game of all time. It has yet to be dethroned, and that's the favorite game that I've played with Grimm. The other half of that question, what is the worst wrestling game that I've played? Does it have to be can it be a wrestling game that doesn't actually involve wrestling? Because, Crush Hour is fucking terrible. I did play WCW Backstage Assault back in the day, which is also not a good game. Can't recommend that. I played WWE Raw 2 on the original Xbox, and I can remember this distinctly, going to the top of the Hell in a Cell, being on top of the Hell in a Cell, and the AI in the ring just running in circles. That fucking shit was broken. Question from Jacob Fuller, who asks, do you have any crazy Black Friday stories? I usually don't go out on Black Friday. I am not a fan of just the mobs and mobs of people. The only time I've actually gone out on Black Friday in recent years was I picked up my Sony TV here, that thing right there, for $100 because Best Buy was doing a clearing them out. And I'd ordered it online with a ship to store, or I ordered it, like, this was in store and get it there, and then I actually had to wait a week, because they were like, no, they're all out. And then I called like a week later, and the store up here, about a half hour from here, was like, yeah, we have one. So went in, $100, there you go. And even though that thing has a pretty high failure rate, it has been 2 years, and mine is still running like a champ. But otherwise, I don't go out on Black Friday. That just sounds like a bad idea. Got a question here from Doohop, yeah, who asks, have you ever accidentally set your entire backyard on fire while trying to burn Lego men? Now, if I had, and I'm not saying I have, but if that were to ever have happened in my past, I believe the appropriate response would be, get the hose, get the fucking hose! Next question from Callum Nickel, who asks, what do you think of the Mountain Dew Doritos flavored drink, which has currently been in the apparently test marketing in colleges? It is Doritos flavored Mountain Dew. And my thought on that is simply, they're spelling it wrong. They're spelling it D-E-W Eatos. Doritos. It sounds like a 2-year-old trying to say Doritos. You want some Doritos? There should be an R in there. You should be replacing the O in Doritos with the EW, do-ritos. Why are you dropping the R? Mountain Dew, what are you doing? And I'll try it. Like, I've tried every single Mountain Dew flavor that they've ever put out, so I will try this one. I might not like it, but I will certainly try it. Here's a quick question from Nonstop Player who asks, have your farts ever smelt like green onions? And I can't say that they have. That's, no. Nope. Pokemon Trainer Gold wants to know, what is your favorite video game ever? And the answer is still Earthbound. Earthbound has yet to be dethroned. I actually got, a bunch of these little dudes, in the mail last week. They're awesome. Earthbound's great. Fucking love it. Hopefully one day Nintendo will see the light and release Mother 3, aka Earthbound 2, on the Virtual Console, as a Game Boy Advance game. Please. This is his face. Has a question, and it is, what has been your favorite game of the year thus far? Right now, and obviously we have about a month and a half to go here, so I haven't played everything that I want to play. I still need to get to things like Shovel Knight and a bunch of games that aren't out yet, but that I have played this year, and I don't play everything, I don't have that kind of time, but I have played, you know, a lot of games. Right now, as of this recording, as of November, what fucking day is it? The 9th, 2014, my favorite game right now is D4, Dark Dreams Don't Die, because I think Swery65 is an amazing game director, and I am super annoyed that Microsoft has yet to greenlight more of that game because it ends on a fucking cliffhanger. So, we need more D4. If you have an Xbox One, you fucking need to get D4. It's great. Question from Alex Knight, who asks, what is your favorite video game genre? I'm gonna lean toward 2D platformers, but I will certainly take a good role-playing game, but the thing is, role-playing games are very time-consuming, and, I get burned out after, say, like 20 or 30 hours on any one game, so as much as I like role-playing games, I tend to get, you know, like, kind of like, alright, be over already. And those, you know, like 50 or 100-hour games is too much. But if I can get through a good 2D platformer, and that perhaps might be my rose-tinted nostalgia glasses talking, but I do enjoy a good, well-thought-out 2D platformer. So, if you haven't played Gunpoint, check out Gunpoint on the PC. That is, I would say, a recent recommendation from me in that genre. It is really good. WECW 30th Backup Channel asks, what has been your favorite game on the PS4 or Xbox One? I'm guessing you mean exclusives, so I will keep this conversation to exclusives. On Xbox One, certainly D4, Dark Dreams Don't Die. I haven't played enough of Dead Rising 3, but I played a couple hours and I thought it was really good. And as far as PS4 exclusives go, like genuine exclusives, there really hasn't been that much yet. I'm waiting on Bloodborne, and I'm assuming that game is going to be amazing, but obviously it's not out yet. But there really haven't been any kind of tried and true PS4 exclusives that I've given a shit about just yet. Obviously, multi-platform, the PS4 is the way to go, and I've played a bunch of games on that. I played through Trials on that. You know, I've been playing, The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, which is really good, but that's on more than one platform, so. Bradley Broadmoor wants to know, what is your favorite TV show of all time? And that's a pretty simple answer. The first 10 seasons of The Simpsons. After season 10, take it or leave it. But those first 10 seasons, solid fucking gold. And in terms of live action, I really enjoy Community, even though the quality has kind of been up and down, depending on who's actually in charge of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do when Yahoo brings it back for season 6. Big Man Top Shot wants to know, what is your favorite game that is underrated? There are a number of PS2 games that kind of fell under the radar and are underrated. And at the very tip top of my list would be Disaster Report, an excellent game which is a survival horror game, but without the horror. It is just survival. You're in a city, there's an earthquake happening, and you have to escape. And it's fucking amazing. Next question from MX Assassin MX, who wants to know, do you think you can do a video on Xbox One versus PS4? I don't know what I can really say on that. I mean, I think both systems are interesting, and they both have their pros and cons, but there really isn't that much to do an actual direct comparison of that anyone else hasn't already said on the internet in the past year. How do you feel about the video game industry now than how you felt 15 years ago? Well, back in 1999, the internet was not nearly as pervasive. Back in 99, I did not have a PC capable of playing games. I was just mainly playing N64 games on the consoles because the PS2 was not out yet. But in terms of the industry in general, it kind of bums me out that unless you're buying a game from Nintendo, that you normally these days will not be getting the entire game when you buy it. You're buying a disc, but then hey, there's DLC and expansions and microtransactions and season passes, and I miss the days of just buying a game and then I get the whole game. But the flip side of that is that back in 99, if a game had a serious problem, it couldn't be patched post-release unless you were talking about the PC. So I appreciate that you can fix games now, but it also kind of bums me out that people ship broken games thinking, oh yeah, we'll fix it later. Like, that sucks. So, I mean, in general, it depends on if you're focusing on the console or the PC. I think the PC is doing better than ever. There are games for every person, every genre that you could fucking imagine. It's amazing. And the console side, they just kind of want more of your money, so is what it is. Trevor Belt wants to know, how do you find all of your games? In terms of things like finding out where new games are coming and finding news and information, primarily my main source of news, reviews, and general game discussion is NeoGAF. It is the preeminent gaming discussion forum on the internet, and I've been there for like 10 years now. It's fucking great. In terms of video content, I follow Giant Bomb and I watch most of their content, so if there's something I haven't heard of and they're looking at it and saying this is awesome, then I'll probably go check it out. And then way down the rung are like, gaming news sites and that kind of stuff, but primarily NeoGAF and Giant Bomb, and I guess kind of way at the top above those is I have an old friend of mine from grade school that I'm still friends with, and he plays way more games than I ever could, and he always has good recommendations. Question from Jake Lindsay wants to know, will they make a Godzilla game? If you mean based on the new movie, who knows? If you mean have they ever made one, they've made tons. Go back and look at the GameCube, go back and look at the PS2, Xbox, and recently, PS3. There is a Godzilla game coming out from Bandai Namco. It's coming out in Japan December the 18th. Now, whether or not they actually localize that for us in English, who knows? But it is definitely coming out this year on the PS3. Next question from Saul Vampa, who wants to know, do you think they will make a Guardians of the Galaxy game? If that movie made a bunch of fucking money, which I'm pretty sure it did, then yes, they probably will. It might not be out until the next movie comes out, but that is, where there is money, where there are dollar signs in the eyes, games will get made. Now, whether or not that game will be any good, that's, games based on movies tend to not be any good, but that's, is what it is.